Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. So I just want to go over a little bit of the timeline. A subscriber mentioned to me about trying to make the timeline so it's easier to read and maybe add some tool to it to make it easier, whatever. So for now, I'm just going to do some more layering control. So if you go to the description below, you should be able to download this PDF here, this interactive PDF. And even after you download it, the links are all still active and whatnot. So anyway, I created a layer called Peter for now. So you can see when you click on that, actually, let's back up a little bit. So you open up the PDF. So you open up the PDF and you see right this here, layer control. There's a couple rectangles or squares. So you click on that and that'll bring you your layers, and then you can turn on and off Peter. So I'll be doing some more cleaning up. It takes some time. So I am open to suggestions and whatnot. If you have any ideas what we can do to make it better. As far as I know, nobody, even scholars, have taken the time to build a true two-scale working timeline. And it's the only timeline where everything works. When you, for example, when you use the software to figure out the length of time from the travel, from the time they hear the message and till the time they reach their destination, the math all works. And so I believe the dates are 100% correct. For example, the date of crucifixion, it's consistent with the rest of the Bible where, for example, God gave Israel 40 years, exactly 40 years to the day to repent. So that was from Passover to year 8030, which is right here, April 3rd of 8030. So all the way to Passover of year 70, that very evening, the first stone was launched by Titus at the temple. So God gave Israel exactly 40 years. So that's consistent. Now, a person who believed that crucifixion occurred in the year 33, which is also very common, there's a couple problems with that. That's not an issue with the year 30 date. But then God only gave Israel 37 years instead of full 37 years. Now it's no longer consistent with the rest of the Bible. So anyway, so I just want to give you a heads up, layer control. So right now I have Peter here, and really Peter and the apostles, but in some cases just Peter, because he was the chief apostle of the apostles for the Jews. Paul was an apostle of the Gentiles. He was a totally different category. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that Peter and John, they were apostles of the Jews only. So they're writing to the Jewish Christians. They were not writing to Gentile Christians. That totally changes the approach of their texts. Trying to look at it from a Jewish perspective rather than just trying to interpret it, everyone each their own. Completely changes it. So anyway, so as you can see here, as I turn it on and off, this is related to Peter. If you click on here, it'll continue to the next one. So this opened up off my Google Drive. You have to download it, okay? And then let's see here. Let's see if I can just, okay. So after you download it, you probably want to open up off of your drive. Okay, so you exit this, and you click on the layer control box, and again you can turn on and off Peter, the text there relative to Peter. Okay, so I guarantee you, if you take the time to know the Peter of the Bible, purge out all outside paradigm, just let the Bible do the talking, you will get the real Peter of the Bible. And you will realize what people believe about Peter, it's just all presuppositions based on outside paradigm, church fathers, and it's all rewritten history. It's just, oh man. So yeah, billions of people have been fooled. You should go to watch my other videos. A good video on that is Constantine's Arch and why it's important. That's an excellent starting point to understand what I'm talking about, and then go from there. So anyway, so again, you have layer control here as well, and then consummation. So it's just right here. If it comes up, there we go. Again, close this, and then open up your layer dialog box. And again, you can see the layer Peter go on and off. And there's also a simplified version of this as well. So as you click on this little green here, it'll open up the more. It's not as busy. It's the same as this. It's the same as this one right here, just not as busy. Alrighty. So anyway, yeah. So again, I more than welcome comment suggestion. What can you do to make this easier, so that more people can see this? It's probably kind of intimidating seeing all this information on here. It is a little overwhelming, but I'm backing up everything with first-hand eyewitness sources, like church fathers who have writings in first-hand eyewitness, but weren't even there, writing about things that they, from a first-hand perspective, weren't even there. So that's a red flag in itself. But this is all first-hand perspective, people who are actually there, first-hand eyewitnesses. Okay, big difference. And so that alone should tell you this has more credibility. Now, why the third-hand eyewitness sources? Because the Bible, it made a lot of predictions was about to take place, shortly take place. But then the house of Israel, they went off to their gathering, or either went through their gathering or were enduring the Daniel 12 prophecy, Daniel chapter 12, verse 12 prophecy. So they were not in a position to be writing anything down at that point. So Canaan closed in the year 66, and they were not in a position to write, and then they became desolate in the year 73, fulfilling the prophecy of Jesus in Matthew chapter 23, verses 36 and 38. And they were gone after that. So the canon was closed in the year 66. So all this talk about Hebrews or Revelation written in 90, that's all false. It could not have happened. And when you look at the evidence for it, at first it seems, okay, it might be the case, but when you dig deeper, it just falls apart. And so I have a video on dating Revelation and also on Irenaeus against heresies, the two paragraphs people use to date the book of Revelation. He was not talking about the book of Revelation there, like so many people believe. He's actually referring to Titan, seen towards the end of Domitian's reign. So anyway, yeah. So again, here's Peter here, the layer Peter. You can see. Yeah, so I welcome what can we do to make it better. This is the only timeline that I'm aware of that's true to scale, true working timeline that's accurate. I mean, I very careful piecing it together. Now, there are some things that, now I have a disclaimer here, timeline is a work in progress, so there is, I'm not 100% certain some things, okay? But this would be a great starting point for continue where I left off, for those who are interested in this sort of thing and fine tune it, if you will. But I am confident, 100% confident, that Daniel chapter 12, verse 12 prophecy, the 1,335 days, is depicted right here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Oops, sorry. That this blue line right here, let me zoom in. This blue line right here, the 1,335 days, that was from August 15th of 8066 to April 10th of 8070. I am about as confident as a person can get that I got that nailed down. And I checked with the scholars, nobody has figured it out. It took me a long time to get there. I mean, I use what's called endpoint to endpoint data collection, where I just need one endpoint, and I had to keep comparing endpoints, and I narrowed that window down over time, and then boom, then I nailed it. I was able to solidify it, and it worked perfectly. So the first day of the Daniel 12:12 is the festival of Salafri, which is a festival with Israel, amongst the tribes where they're allowed to intermarry. So it all makes sense now. Where Book of Revelation and Matthew 25 talk about the virgins. It all makes sense. So anyway, it all worked perfectly. It all worked perfectly. The 1335 days, and then they fled. And then next day, it'll start Daniel or Revelation 12:6, the 1260 days, and it brings you right to September 22nd, AD 73, which so happens matches perfectly the time times and half a time. It's right here, time times and half a time, which brings you right to that day as well. So coincidence? No. So 100% certainty that was their last day, the house of Israel. So John 6:44, Jesus talking to the house of Israel, said, I will raise you up on the last day. That was it. That's 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, me and the Lord in the air. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, giving the new bodies. The last trumpet, that was during their Yom Teruah, the half a time, which is day 5 out of 10 of the 10-day feast of the Yom Teruah, hit perfectly that day. So anyway, all right, enough about that. So again, if you have anything we can do to make this easier to read, easier to work with, I understand again it's overwhelming, but as far as I know, nobody has created a timeline. And hopefully it get Christians to start thinking from a chronological perspective, a timeline perspective. Because your typical believer, most of them, had no concept or understanding of chronology, why that's important to the house of Israel. Just no concept or understanding of that at all, unfortunately. And that's one of the reasons, many reasons, why there's so much confusion today. They just don't understand the chronology and timeline of the house of Israel in the first century. Alrighty. Well, that's all I have for now. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day.